It was supposed to be just another quiet afternoon at the hospital cafeteria, the kind where laughter from the nurses mixed softly with the hum of vending machines. But for Ryan, a struggling student working part-time as a janitor, it felt like the hardest day of his life. He'd been saving for weeks just to buy a second-hand suit for the upcoming college dance, one night he hoped would make him feel like he truly belonged. He never imagined that his simple, nervous question would change everything. When he saw Emma, a kind nurse with a warm smile and soft blue scrubs, sitting alone near the window, something in him said to take the chance. She always treated him like he mattered, even when others ignored him for his worn-out shoes or old backpack. Gathering every bit of courage, Ryan walked up and asked shyly, "Would you be my date to the dance?" His voice trembled, but his eyes were honest. Emma looked up, her expression unreadable. For a moment, silence filled the space between them. What Ryan didn't know was that Emma wasn't just any nurse. She was the only daughter of the hospital's CEO, living a life he could never dream of. Her world was polished floors and private cars. His was double shifts and overdue bills. She smiled faintly, but her answer wasn't what he expected. And in that instant, everything about Ryan's life began to change, starting with one simple word. Emma hesitated for a second before softly saying, "Let me think about it." Her tone was gentle, but there was something behind her eyes that Ryan couldn't quite read. Curiosity, maybe, or guilt. He nodded quickly, trying to hide his disappointment, then mumbled something about getting back to work. As he pushed his cleaning cart down the hallway, his heart raced. He kept replaying that moment in his head, wondering if he had just embarrassed himself in front of the one person who had ever shown him kindness. That night, Ryan sat in his small rented room, surrounded by textbooks and unpaid bills. He thought about his mother working double shifts at the diner just to help cover his tuition. The dance wasn't just about fun, it was about proving to himself that he was worth something. But deep down, he knew asking Emma had been a crazy idea. Still, there was something about her that made him feel like he could dream. Meanwhile, Emma sat alone in her car in the hospital parking lot, her phone buzzing with a message from her father's assistant, reminding her of the upcoming board meeting. The truth was, she wasn't really a nurse, at least, not officially. She was training quietly under a different name, trying to understand the hospital from the ground up before inheriting it one day. Ryan didn't know any of that, and when he showed up the next morning, her father was already asking questions about the janitor, who dared to talk to his daughter. Ryan didn't notice the shift in the air at first. He was busy mopping the main hallway when two security guards walked by, their eyes lingering on him longer than usual. Whispers started floating around, something about the CEO asking who the janitor boy was that had been talking to one of the nurses. By lunchtime everyone seemed to know. The stares, the small laughs behind his back, it all hit him harder than he expected. Still, Ryan kept his head down, pretending it didn't matter. But deep inside he felt the weight of being out of place. Emma, on the other hand, couldn't stop thinking about him. She admired his sincerity, the way he spoke without pretense, and how he treated every patient with quiet respect. Yet she also knew her father's temper, his obsession with control, reputation, and keeping people like Ryan far from their world. When she tried to bring it up subtly during dinner, her father's expression hardened. "You're here to learn management, not to entertain janitors," he said coldly. Ending the conversation, that night, Emma sat on her bed, torn between two worlds. She wanted to be honest with Ryan, to tell him who she really was, but fear held her back. What if he stopped looking at her the same way? What if he thought she had been mocking him? The next day, Ryan found a note slipped into his locker. It was written, in neat, delicate handwriting, his name at the top, and just 3 words beneath it: "Meet me tonight." Ryan's hands trembled slightly as he unfolded the note again, just to be sure he hadn't imagined it. "Meet me tonight." The words felt unreal. All day, he tried to focus on his work, but his thoughts kept drifting to Emma. Why did she want to meet him? Did she feel the same way? Or was this her gentle way of turning him down? By evening, the hospital corridors had grown quiet, lights dimmed except for the faint glow of monitors and exit signs. Ryan waited near the garden behind the hospital, the cool air brushing against his skin as he glanced at his watch for what felt like the 100th time. Then he saw her. Emma walked toward him slowly, her expression soft but troubled. She looked different, no scrubs this time, just a simple coat, her hair loose and shining under the garden lights. "Thank you for coming," she said quietly. There was something heavy in her voice, something unsaid. Ryan smiled nervously, trying to keep things light. "You sound like this is goodbye." Emma looked away, struggling to find the right words. "Ryan, there's something I need to tell you. I should have told you from the start." Before she could continue, a sharp voice cut through the night. "Emma." Her father's tone was filled with authority and anger. Ryan froze as the CEO himself stepped out from the shadows, his security team behind him. Emma's eyes widened in fear. The air turned tense. Ryan realized this meeting wasn't just about feelings anymore, it was about consequences. For a moment, no one moved. The garden lights flickered softly, but the tension between them was sharp enough to cut through the silence. Ryan stood frozen, unsure whether to speak or step back. Emma's father took a few slow steps forward, his voice calm but heavy with warning. "I thought I raised you to make wiser choices," he said. his eyes never leaving Ryan. "This boy cleans my floors, Emma. He's not someone you bring into our world." Ryan felt the words like a slap, but before he could respond, Emma stepped in front of him. "He's not just a janitor," she said firmly. "He's kind, hardworking, and he deserves respect." Her voice trembled, but she didn't back down. Her father's jaw tightened. "You don't understand what you're risking," he said quietly. "This isn't just about reputation, it's about everything tied to our name." Ryan's chest tightened, realizing there was more to this than pride or class. Something deeper was going on, something her father didn't want revealed. Then, one of the security guards hesitated before speaking. "Sir, maybe it's not the right time. The press is already asking questions about the scholarship fund audit." Emma looked at her father sharply. "What audit?" she asked. He didn't answer. His silence said enough. Ryan suddenly understood there were secrets in this hospital, ones powerful people didn't want exposed. And now, just by standing next to Emma, he was part of something far bigger than a rejected dance invitation. Emma's father turned sharply toward the guard, his expression darkening. "That's enough," he snapped. But it was too late. Emma's eyes were already searching for answers. "Dad, what are they talking about?" she demanded. The tension that had been simmering finally broke. Her father sighed, his polished calm slipping away. "It's not what you think," he began. But Ryan stepped forward, his voice steady. "It's exactly what it sounds like, isn't it? Money meant for students, people like Metis appearing into someone's pocket." The accusation hung in the air. Emma looked at her father, disbelief written all over her face. "You said those scholarships were to help underprivileged students," she said softly. "Were you using them for yourself?" He didn't answer, and that silence told her everything. Ryan's heart pounded. He hadn't planned to say it, but now the truth couldn't be buried again. Her father's anger flared. "You don't understand the world, Emma. Sometimes you have to bend the rules to survive." But Emma shook her head, tears in her eyes. "No, you bend people, not rules." She turned to Ryan. "You were one of those scholarship applicants, weren't you?" He nodded slowly. "I got rejected, said there wasn't enough funding."